the next great eye on the universe. In just days, NASA will launch the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, a mission designed to map billions of galaxies and hunt for over 100,000 new worlds. Here's why scientists are calling it a turning point for astronomy. The telescope is named after NASA's first chief astronomer, who spent nearly 2 decades securing funding and support for what became the Hubble Space Telescope, earning her the nickname Mother of Hubble. Before liftoff, here are the numbers that define this mission. Roman's primary mirror measures 2.4 meters across, the same size as Hubble's. The mission has cost roughly $4 billion. It will operate nearly 930,000 miles from Earth. On August 25th, Roman traveled overnight to SpaceX's hangar at Launch Complex 39A to be mated to its Falcon Heavy rocket. From there, it will travel nearly 1,000,000 miles to a stable gravitational point beyond the Moon's orbit, where it will begin its 5-year mission. Same mirror size, same image sharpness, but Roman sees 100 times more sky in a single shot. Roman isn't bigger than Hubble or Webb, it's just built to see far more sky at once. Hubble set the baseline for image sharpness in space. James Webb sees deeper into infrared light, but still narrowly. Roman keeps Hubble's sharpness, but captures 100 times more sky in every image. Roman's senior project scientist says this mission will change how astronomers search the sky. Will redefine what it means to find a needle in a haystack. This mission is arriving early, which almost never happens with flagship space telescopes. Construction finished ahead of plan in December 2025. That let NASA move launch up by 9 full months. And the team did it while staying under the mission's original budget. Roman actually carries 2 very different tools for 2 very different jobs. The wide-field instrument is a 300.8 megapixel camera built to survey huge swaths of sky at once. The coronagraph instrument blocks out starlight to directly photograph Jupiter-sized planets next to their stars. That's the resolution of Roman's main camera, built to survey the sky faster than any space telescope before it. This isn't speculation. NASA has laid out the mission timeline in detail. NASA confirms liftoff is targeted for 7:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 30th, 2026. The mission will launch from Launch Complex 39A, the same pad used for Apollo and Space Shuttle missions. A launch readiness review was held on August 28th to give final clearance. Years of assembly, testing, and transport led to this week's launch. Webb sees deeper into infrared light than any telescope before it, but scans a comparatively narrow slice of sky at a time. With a field of view 100 times wider than Hubble and the same image sharpness, Roman is built to outsurvey every space telescope that came before it. Flagship space telescopes are notorious for blowing past their budgets. Roman didn't. The Roman mission carries a price tag of roughly $4 billion. And unlike many past flagship missions, it arrived 9 months ahead of its original launch target. Most flagship space telescopes are famous for delays and cost overruns, not for beating their own schedule. Roman finishing early and under budget is a rare win for how NASA manages complex science missions. The real prize isn't the launch itself, it's the 3-dimensional map of the universe this telescope is built to produce. If Roman performs as designed, it could quietly become one of the most productive telescopes NASA has ever flown. Space.com has tweeted on X the following. Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is ready for launch on August 30th, and it's going to redefine how we see the universe. Astronomy Fan has tweeted on X the following. A telescope that can survey in a month what would take Hubble a century? This is the mission I've been waiting for. The excitement is warranted. Roman isn't chasing a single deep image, it's built to map the sky at a scale that's never been attempted before. Roman has 2 headline science goals. We asked our audience which one matters more. 55% of viewers are most excited about Roman's hunt for answers on dark energy. 45% are more excited about the search for over 100,000 new exoplanets. Roman's design means it can chase both goals in the very same surveys. Liftoff is targeted for 7:26 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, August 30th from the same launch pad that sent Apollo astronauts to the Moon. Roman won't orbit Earth like Hubble does. It's headed somewhere much farther out. Roman will settle into a halo orbit around the second sun, Earth-Lagrange point, the same region where James Webb operates. Its planned mission length is 5 years, but NASA's stretch goal for the mission is a full decade of observations. The clearest way to understand Roman's speed advantage is to compare it directly to Hubble survey pace. After separating from the Falcon Heavy, Roman will spend about 100 days deploying its sun shield and calibrating its instruments before reaching L2. Once operational, a single one of its largest survey images would need more than 500,000 4K televisions to display at full resolution. That's how much data Roman is expected to generate annually, more than Hubble has produced in its entire 35-year history. As Roman's senior project scientist at NASA Goddard, she has guided the mission's science goals for years and previously served as project scientist for NASA's Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope. Roman isn't replacing NASA's other planet hunters, it's covering the gap they leave behind. Kepler and TESS excel at finding planets that orbit close to their stars. Roman is built to find colder, more distant worlds, more like the outer planets in our own solar system. NASA's administrator summed up the mission's ambition in a single line. Roman will give the Earth a new atlas of the universe. NASA has laid out ambitious targets for what Roman should discover early in its mission. NASA expects Roman to help find more than 100,000 new exoplanets in its first 5 years. Along the way, it should catalog hundreds of millions of individual stars, and its wide surveys are expected to map billions of galaxies across the observable universe. Before launch, NASA invited the public to submit their names to fly aboard Roman, and more than 1 million people said yes.